Sports, where athletes bring us career-defining moments.
The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history.
Tomlinson off the left side. Tomlinson sidesteps. Hello, history books.
Dynasties being created and destroyed.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
And of course, the unthinkable.
This is caught. Diggs. Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable. Vikings.
And me? Well, I'm here to give you the truth. The one aspect that will never lie, the numbers. YouTube! What's going on, man? Back at it again with another video. It's your boy, Numbers Fan Jay. It feels really good outside, man. It really does. It's Victory Monday, man. We've almost completed Week 16. Tonight, of course, the Packers and Vikings game. We do have some news about that game as well. Dalvin Cook is ruled out for this game. We hope that he'd be able to play. Unfortunately, his shoulder injury is more significant than we initially thought. He won't be able to play this game, which is huge, because the Vikings offense, he's a huge component of the Vikings offense. But I'm not changing my pick. I do believe the Vikings can still remain undefeated at home. The only team in the NFL to still be undefeated at home. I did like what I saw from Mike Boone, the backup running back for the Vikings. And we all know the Packers struggle with good defensive lines that can get pressure with just 4. So, we'll see. I'm not changing my pick. Also in news, Derrick Henry did not play in the Titans game. Didn't know that until right up until game time. But he is expected to play next week. So, that's a good sign. Also, Chris Carson has been ruled out for the season with a hip injury, which leads me to more news. Marshawn Lynch is coming back to football. They're setting up meetings with him for Seattle. Seattle will be excited to have him back. One of their greatest running backs to ever play. Beast Mode does look like he wants to return to the team. We're going to have to see what type of shape he's going to be in when he returns. So, nothing set in stone, but it's really looking like he'll be able to come back to Seattle and be able to play for them in the postseason. So, we'll see. But we didn't have any Thursday night games. We had 3 Saturday night games. Well, Saturday games. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about those games. Texans at Buccaneers. This was the most exciting, weird game that I've ever seen. Before the game, you know, the Good Morning Football crew is there in the stadium. They flip a coin, and they're like, well, if it's heads, it's a touchdown. Tails, it's an interception on Jameis Winston's first throw of the game. They flip the coin, and they go, touchdown. He flips the coin back, and the game starts, and Jameis Winston throws a pick 6. So really, he kind of did both. He threw a pick and a touchdown at the same time. Come to find out, they really flipped interception, but they didn't want to say that in front of the Buccaneers crowd. That's tough, man. That's tough. But the Texans went on to win that game. Jameis was bad in this game. Threw 4 interceptions, just 1 touchdown. The Buccaneers defense gets no credit, but they made this game close. The Buccaneers only lost 20-23, which raises questions about the Texans. Deshaun Watson didn't play well at all. He was being pressured all game. I will give you that. He was being pressured all game long. Didn't really know that the Buccaneers defense would play them this tight. You thought that the Texans might be able to run away with this game, especially with Jameis throwing 4 interceptions. Like, how is that not a blowout? But he's been doing it all year. The Buccaneers have been in some close games. In some close games. But the Texans got the win. We got that one right. Bills at Patriots. We picked the Bills. They did lose this game. They choked. This is just plain and simple. Patriots won the fourth quarter 11-0. This offense finally found something. Rex Burkhead got going, even though he fumbled on that long play on the opening drive. He did redeem himself with a tough goal line run where he just kind of ran through all the arm tackles and just coasted in the end zone for like a 3-4 yard touchdown. The Bills only had 92 rushing yards. We talked about them being able to run the ball. Not this game. Patriots had a great game plan. The Bills, you can't say they didn't try. They ran the ball 23 times. They tried to run the ball. They just couldn't get it going. The Patriots won their 11th straight division title, including their 7th straight win over the Bills, 15 of their last 17 versus the Bills. It's hard to be a Bills fan, man. I don't know how anybody could do it. I thought it was hard being a Chargers fan, but the Bills take that to the next level. They really do. But they have had a good season so far, so we'll see what they can do in the postseason. Rams at 49ers. 49ers had no rushers above 53 rushing yards in this game. We talked about them being able to run the ball. The Rams did a pretty good job containing them this game. The team averaged 5.1, a little bit more than 5 yards per carry. Let's just say that. A little bit more than 5 yards per carry. You would assume that they would run more, but Jimmy G's 2 interceptions really took time off the clock for this offense. That took away 2 possessions for them. 2 bad throws, one into traffic. The other was also in the traffic, but if he would have put it in front of the receiver, I think he still would have made the catch. On that slant, it was a slant pattern. There were 3 receivers in the area, and that should never happen on a play. It was a slant, so you know it was kind of quick. You got George Kittle running, kind of looked like a deep post, and then you got another receiver coming across on a little stopping route, as well as Sanders coming across on a slant. So everybody's like this. The ball gets popped up in the air, and that's an interception almost every time. So, but even though the 49ers lost the turnover battle 2-1, Jimmy G did prove to be clutch yet again. Came through in the clutch. 2 bombs on 3rd and 16 twice on the game-winning drive. One was a on-the-money throw. He threw it to the receiver's body, which you have to do on 3rd and long for the most part, unless the next time happens like it did, where you have Emmanuel Sanders running wide open, and you could just throw it to a spot to keep him open, make him catch the ball pretty easily, which he did. Put them in field goal range. They won this game. We picked the 49ers, so we got that one right. Next game, Saints at Titans. As we talked about, Derrick Henry did not suit up for this game. The Titans had 149 rush yards without him, though. So they did pretty good running the ball. The Saints had 5 sacks in this game. One was Cam Jordan, who we talked about being a force rushing the passer before the game. Drew Brees had 279 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara had 2 touchdowns, his first score since week 3. We've seen a lot of Mike Thomas and less of Alvin Kamara I don't know. One goes up and one goes down, but the offense continues to roll. So it's not really a problem. It just shows balance. But the Saints did get that win there on the road. We got that one right, 38-28. The Ravens at the Browns. We said that the Ravens be able to redeem themselves. They did. Lamar had 238 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 103 rushing yards, and the Ravens clinched the number 1 seed. So the AFC now will go through Baltimore. That being said, they will probably rest their starters next week. But we'll get into that. That has a lot to do with the playoff field and who's going to get the 6th seed. We'll get into that next week. Giants at Redskins. We picked the Redskins just because nobody really cares. Saquon, thanks for nothing. You ruined my fantasy game. The person that I was playing against in fantasy, had you on his team. He killed me. And he still has both Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins. And the game is tied right now, so there's no point in even hoping that I can win unless they both just go out and throw 8 interceptions. That's the only way. But thanks for nothing. Giants got that win, 41-35. Saquon had 189 yards rushing, 90 yards receiving, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown. Steelers at Jets, like we talked about, two offenses that have been struggling. This game was no different. We saw Duck Hodges get benched for Mason Rudolph after throwing 2 interceptions. Rudolph came in and threw a touchdown, but it wasn't enough, as the Steelers just can't seem to produce any points offensively, and that's a huge problem. So they lost this game to the New York Jets, who they shouldn't have lost to in the first place. There's no excuse for this. For a playoff team, there's no excuse. And right now, they're currently in a playoff spot. So we'll see what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals at Dolphins was the most entertaining game that nobody watched. The Bengals secured the #1 draft pick. They lost this game. They lost this game 35-38 in overtime. This game featured a Hail Mary, or a mini Hail Mary. It wasn't that long of a throw, but it was exciting. Panthers at Colts. C-Mac has now caught the most passes for a running back in NFL history with 109 receptions on the season. He had 119 receiving yards and 54 rushing yards in this game. The Colts ran for 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, while Carolina turned it over 3 times. Will Grier had 3 interceptions. Colts rolled in this one, 38-6. We did not pick the Colts. We picked the Panthers, so we got this one wrong. Jaguars at Falcons. Julio finished this game with 10 catches for 166 yards, still showing his dominance as the Falcons won that 24-12. Got that one right. Starting the late games, Lions at Broncos. Phil Lindsay running for 109 yards and a touchdown. The Broncos won that one 27-17. Raiders at Chargers. We had no running game to speak of in this game, even though Melvin Gordon got in the end zone twice in close yardage situations. The Raiders had almost a 9-minute drive, a drive in which they passed the ball just 4 times. It was very frustrating to watch, and I hope the front office was watching this game, because we need defensive tackle. We need interior guys to plug up the run, as well as pushing the pocket on pass protection. On defending the pass, on pass rushing. Because we just give everybody all day to throw now. They've figured out how to block Bosa and Ingram, which shouldn't happen. But, when you don't have anybody you have to worry about on the inside, you can almost just leave the inside guys one-on-one and just worry about the outside guys. Maybe have a tight end help chip in on a block. But that's neither here or there. We lost. Good news is we're at number 7 in draft pick now, so that's good. Cowboys at Eagles. Most disappointing thing of the whole year, the Cowboys. Start off the season so hot, 3-0, talking about Super Bowl, talking about Dak has been playing all great and he's earning his contract. Well, I give it to you. He's hurt. He was hurt coming into this game, so that's his excuse. But there is no excuse for Amari Cooper. There's no excuse also for Jason Garrett having Amari Cooper on the sideline on a game-deciding play.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
There's also no excuse for Zeke averaging 3.6 yards per carry. There's no excuse for the rest of this stuff. There's a whole team here, a talented team, I will say that, very talented team. The coach doesn't seem to know what to do with all this talent. He doesn't know what to do. And it's really embarrassing for Cowboys fans. But I'm not feeling sad for y'all. Y'all gonna stop talking about Super Bowl every year. Let the season play out. And stop that stuff, man. They claim Amari Cooper was gassed, and that's why he was on the sideline. Amari Cooper denied this. He said he wasn't gassed and he wasn't hurt. So he didn't even understand why he was on the sideline on that play. They could have burned the timeout. They had a timeout to spare. On the opposite side of this, Carson Wentz has 9 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last 4 games. The Eagles are 3-1. They're looking great right now. They're rolling, looking very similar to that team they had a few years ago when they won the Super Bowl. They were banged up. They're banged up again this year. Starting to get hot again. Look out. Look out, NFC. But Cardinals at Seahawks, this was the surprise game for me. Most surprising game of the day. The Seahawks did not show up to play. I understand that Chris Carson got hurt, but Russell Wilson just was a non-factor. He was held to 169 yards passing, 2 yards rushing. 2 yards rushing? I mean, come on, Russ. Come on. Also, the Cardinals had 5 sacks, but wait, Chandler Jones had 4 of them. They couldn't stop this man. He was unstoppable. As I spoke on, Chris Carson is out for the season with a hip injury. The Seahawks allowed 253 rushing yards, and I mentioned this before. Their defense is gonna be their Achilles heel this year. They won't go any further than they already are with this defense. They're not gonna be able to secure a first-round bye. Let's go ahead and get that out the way. Even if Marshawn Lynch comes back, this defense is a problem. Not only that, but Russell Wilson and company don't show up in a game where they should have won. Should have won by probably a big margin because this Cardinals team has not played well this year. They lost this game 27-13. We got this one wrong. The Chiefs at the Bears ended off the Sunday night game. Patrick Mahomes looked like himself, 251 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs had the ball for 33 minutes and 24 seconds, while the Bears had the ball for just 26 minutes and 36 seconds. So that explains why the Bears couldn't score, because they didn't have the ball long enough. And, of course, Mitch Trubisky not being the great of a quarterback that people thought he would be or thought he could be. But anyway, man, you know what time it is. Time to flip the M to a dub, baby. Victory Monday. We got the 3 dubs for you, 3 most important questions from this past Sunday, this past week, not including tonight. Who won and why? Who will be the Buccaneers quarterback next year? Jameis Winston has played atrociously. When you look up the definition for the word inconsistent, Jameis Winston is right there beside it. There's a picture of Jameis Winston beside the word inconsistent in the dictionary. It's gotta be. You never know what he's gonna do. They gotta do something, man. They gotta draft somebody. They gotta go out and get Cam. They gotta go out and get something. I don't know what. They gotta do something. This is ridiculous. What do the Bills need to do to take that next step? You know, they've been on the verge of doing something good. Their defense has been good the past few years. What do they have to do? And I think it starts on the offense, because their defense, like I just said, is playing well, but they don't have that threat at receiver that could just blow you out of the water. They don't have that dominant guy. Cole Beasley's a good receiver, but he's not a primary threat. He's a slot receiver. They need a guy that brings that physical presence, that toughness, maybe a game-breaking speed type of guy, like a Tyreek Hill type of. They need something on that offense to give them juice. Josh Allen cannot be their go-to guy. We saw several times they went with just a quarterback run, and that can't be your go-to play. You can't put your quarterback in that situation when the game is on the line. You can't do it. You're going to have somebody out there to make the defense play honest. Because defensively, if you know that Josh Allen is going to be the one taking the ball, everybody's coming down. Everybody's coming straight downhill for the quarterback. You don't need that. Why? Why are the Seahawks so bad defensively? Of the playoff teams, this team allows more points than any other playoff teams that are going to make the playoffs this year. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to this question. I don't know. I like their safety, Quandre Diggs. I like Bobby Wagner. I like they have a couple pieces, but I just don't know why they can't perform at a high level. I don't know if it's been injuries or I don't know, man. If y'all know the answer to that question, let me know. Let me know. Thank y'all for watching, man. No, I cannot say that yet because I did not do my player of the week. Player of the week, coach of the week. You know what time it is. Alvin Kamara, first time scoring since week 3. You score in a pivotal game. Y'all need this game to have hopes of securing a first round bye. You need this. Alvin Kamara shows up, scores not once but twice. Scores twice. Coach of the week for me is Bill Belichick, believe it or not. These Patriots, we talked about their offense being bad. They've been losing lately. Nobody knows what they're going to be like in the playoffs. If they have to go on the road, they're in trouble. Well, the Patriots answered the call. They said, the Bills? No. The Bills aren't going to be the ones to take us out of this thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to try to secure this bye week yet again, even though we've been losing all these good teams. Bill Belichick motivated this team, and He has them. If you listen to his locker room post-game speech, he's talking playoffs, and he's talking right now playoffs. Playoffs start now, not in a couple weeks. So, Bill Belichick, Coach of the Week for me. Thank y'all for watching, man. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're new, thank you for your view. I appreciate you. It's your boy, Jay. We out of here.